We're here. 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we made
And
it.
it's beginning with just us. We might assemble two more cast members along the way. Jose's finishing up the rap rotation stuff, and I think Logan just got off the exit. He texted me. Yeah, we might move the day we film this because I know Mondays are Logan's Universal Day.
Yeah.
So he'd be like rushing here after.
Yeah,
But
10's a little tough sitting here till 10 and
yeah,
just being like,
that's what, especially right when I'm trying to get on a freaking schedule. It's like Logan's like, yeah, let's just do 10. Nah.
yeah.
Yeah, that sort of segues into what we kind of have both been talking about. Well, I guess I've been talking to you about is like getting on a schedule.
Yeah.
Because me and you are notorious freaking 4 a.m. grinders. Oh,
Sounds like the man is coming in right now.
the man, the myth, the legend.
But yeah, I don't think I've been on a real schedule since I was not even in college, probably high school is the last time I genuinely woke up or like Amazon when I worked at Amazon, waking up every day at like 9 and going into work. I have
Mm.
not been. It's more like a 12 to 2 for me. Or like
Yeah,
12 to
yeah.
3.
I'm definitely on that, and I've been trying to because I was on that same schedule. Like you said, when I was in college, I developed that schedule where it's just like the up at noon, go to sleep at like 2-ish, and that was cool. But it's just progressively, especially since getting this office and the amount of stuff there is, it's progressively gotten later and later. Like waking up at 12, but I'm finding myself going to sleep at 4, and then 5, and now a lot of nights I'm catching myself leaving here when the sun's up, and I'm like, damn, that just ruined like
The entire
the whole
day.
next day's shot, and
Yeah.
it throws everything out of whack from like trying to balance everything with the gym, with the man, the myth, the legend.
How we doing?
No, it's okay. Jose's probably gonna stroll in halfway through. He's finishing up the rap rotation. Yeah, he's finishing up tomorrow's rap rotations.
I think being on a schedule is also a big part of it is also doing work with him hand in hand because we need to be on the normal schedule to make sure we're doing work with him consistently on a daily basis. I think that plays a big role as well.
100%. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, yeah, like I get hella Logan calls that they start maybe a little
8
before
o'clock.
noon, and then
Sometimes. I usually don't call you until around 11 o'clock though, because I know you're up late the night before. But now a lot of business just goes down 9 to 5.
I mean, yeah, that's a typical. That's what we were just talking about. 'Cause
I was
we
just
were-
thinking about that on the ride over here, like that. Like the reason why I'm always casually late is because it just becomes, especially as deep into it as I am. Like I actually reached my 8-year anniversary the other day.
Wow.
On June 14th, I think, or 16th, I think it was the 14th. Was the first concert I ever photographed, like which was the
That's
first music
insane.
thing I ever
Yeah,
did.
that's something else we could definitely touch on at some point. I think
It's crazy because it all comes full circle because we're back with the cameras.
Yeah, you're back, and you're about to pick up the camera.
Yeah.
Like, you're shooting some of the rap rotations. You're about to start
do
editing
whatever I
some
got
of them.
to.
But yeah, I think
Do
that's something
whatever
that I
needs to
think
be done.
a lot of people who know you would probably be fascinated by. That you were like,
Yeah, I
like
started
you
as a
did photography
photographer.
first, which I didn't know meeting you.
Yeah, that's how I got the grand start. But as deep into it, 8 years, it becomes you got to make a choice. It's like there's, and I even sometimes preach the opposite of this on the reels and everything. But it's like eventually it gets to a point where you got to have some type of like work-life balance. I mean, that's if your goal is to reproduce, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and have a family or whatever, which that's obviously one of my goals eventually. So for me to do that, and in order for me to not just sign myself up for being like an absent father, you know what I mean? Like
100%.
there has to be some type of attempt at a 9 to 5,
But yeah, I think it's I don't know. I think it's like you in a sense you earn that with the work you put in for the years
Right.
first. It's like you build the foundation, so
Right.
then
Then you can pick and choose.
like the way I see it, it's like you grind, so you go up, and then when you stop the grind, obviously there's a little bit of rebound on the business that goes down a little bit, but you grind hard enough so then you can rebound to a position that you can comfortably then build, like sustain it, and that's where you go into like scaling it, and that's like funny enough, that's another thing I have written on my notes today to kind of talk about is like going to the point where it is scaling it, like you're saying,
Yeah.
because then that's where I'm just catching myself where yesterday was the first day that I found myself like you were sitting on my computer doing the thumbnail of the rap rotations. Jose was starting to edit one of them, and I was going between the two computers, just like standing there, just like delegating between the two. And I was like, damn, this is the next level from where
Yeah.
I've built up to when it start delegating, so then we could do more things,
Right.
and I could start to, like we were just saying, developing a balance of life.
Yeah.
Because like yeah, like I think professionally this will be
I think on
5
that
years.
same tip though, there is people that will take that advice and go the wrong way with it. What I like, I still think there are people that take that too far to the point where like they're vacationing multiple times a year. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
Like
no, there's still
they're unresponsive. You know what I mean? Like there is people that take that to a further degree. Like I'm still on the couch answering text messages. You know what I mean? But I'm not here all day. You know what I
yeah, and
mean?
I
Like and it's some people, take that to the furthest degree and start to be on like some respect my space, and that shit is not conducive to business.
yeah, that's where it starts to then affect your business. But yeah, you just build it up at a point where you're able to leave at what time do you usually leave? Like 6, right?
Yeah,
So like you
5:36.
clock out of the office at 6, which you're still reachable. I'll still get calls with ideas.
Yeah.
We'll still, but you're able to leave and then balance out the both. Where I'm still in the phase that like come 9, I'm like, I gotta finish this next thing, and I gotta, and then it's, but it's nice to be like at a place now where we're starting to scale. Where
I think also, to my knowledge, you don't have anybody that's pulling you away from here either. You
hmm,
know what I mean? Like, whereas I already have all that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So I think when in your profession, I mean, not in your professional life, but in your personal life, when you decide to make that step with somebody, I think it'll
yeah,
because then you'll
yeah,
have somewhere to go.
yeah, and that's
Because right now,
definitely
if you leave here at 9 o'clock, you're just gonna be, not to say it in a negative way, but you're just
yeah,
gonna be alone at the house. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And
yeah.
it's like,
That's
so you might as well stay here
yeah,
and work.
and that's definitely the balance I've found between like that's why like, I haven't really like I don't really hang out with my friends as much now because I see the value like we were saying and invested the time in now and do that stuff now. Don't stress over the relationships and stuff now.
Right.
So then I can work. I have the capacity and the time to invest that because you said like I want to have a family. I want
Yeah.
to have all these things, and I know if you don't put that time in now, I'm gonna indefinitely be putting
Right.
time in, and I'm gonna be pulling time away from
Yeah.
family and that kind of stuff. And I don't want to not have a social life forever, but I also want my business to get to a certain place. So it's just a balance between the both and back and forth. But that
I don't have, nor do I really care for a social life outside of my partner, though, to be honest.
Yeah,
but I
that's
mean
kind of what I'm on.
I don't really like it. Like, I'm not really beat to
I
like
mean social life. I
go
mean
out with
that
people, you
might be
know?
your like that could be the
Like,
social
I
life.
feel like I get so much like social enrichment from the daily life here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, so much
I
social
definitely
interaction.
I
Like,
find that too.
Yeah,
That
I don't
that's
like
how
need
I
it
feel.
from
Yeah.
yeah
somewhere else.
like
Like, I'd honestly prefer to not have it when I'm done with my work here. You know,
I mean yeah, and your job is a very like you talk to people
that's
all day.
all
You're
I do.
interacting with people all day, so it makes sense. And I mean, yeah, that can be your because the social life can be anything. I just think about my social life is more so I think about just wanting to spend more time with my mom or like my brothers
Right.
or just see my family more because like I know that's why I do it. It's a funny thing because like I preach like I know I everything I'm doing for is to build this life for my family, but I sacrifice time with my family and
Right.
those people right now. So it's like
Yeah.
a back and forth like a
My parents are 4 hours away, so
I mean yeah
I'm set up for.
yeah you already have the you
I
yeah like
got
you said
there's two. You
you're
can do
not gonna
two
see
things
them.
at once. You can do two things really well at any given time. Once it gets to 3, 4, 5, things are gonna start to slip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you because I mean, there's only so much time in a day. There's only so much energy you can give. Like you can do everything, but like you can like if there's systems like we said in the last episode, if you build systems around it, which
Right.
I think is like which I'm excited for because we're finally like in the stage of doing it. Like I feel like me and you, Steve, talked for the longest time about the systems and
Yeah.
doing this, and we're gonna be able to do videos, and you're gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. Jose will do this, and we're finally at a place that like I'm starting to see that, like we're seeing that come together. Like I think just Jose taking over the edits and the rap rotation is pretty dope. It's a good, I think it's a great way for him to start really get a lot of easier work to learn and experience and get his hands wet and also generate some money and it takes tons of stress away from me. Like when I handed off the hard drive to Jose of all the open edits and it was like I'm passing this to you now. This is yours. And like a weight left me, but it wasn't like like the work's gone. It's like I know this work's gonna get done, and it's a good feeling because it's not just like I know the work's gonna get done, but it's good feeling to give work to Jose or like when we
Right.
started working before you built your own clients, like be able to
Yeah.
I'll give you hundreds to do this behind the scenes
Mhm.
just to generate work when like if there isn't some necessarily, but I'm definitely it's looking good. And then definitely bringing on some more interns. And we just had a meeting with one intern the other day for rap rotations.
Yes.
So it's definitely gonna be good. It's definitely gonna scale. If you're interested in interning, there's a form. I think it's in the Wave Change bio still. You can fill that out. Um, yeah, but let me see, 'cause like it kind of goes like I really want to touch on this, and I really want to touch on like pretty much it's funny that we're talking about this is like balancing, like just the balance of like the life and the work, because I think it's something I know when I put the poll up when we recorded the first episode, I put a poll up asking us what we should talk about, and actually the legend himself, Baby 400, responded.
He's coming on Wednesday, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he's gonna
Hey,
be doing his
Are
rap
we doing
rotations
the
on
shoot or
Wednesday.
the representation?
Yeah, we're gonna do rap
what time
rotations.
is that at?
I think he's coming at like noon.
We're not doing Air
I
Force
have to
Ones.
be
No,
here.
we're doing Air Force Ones on rap rotation. We're gonna talk about
Oh,
we're
oh
gonna talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
the video, but
yeah.
what like at right now because I know he's dropping the song like this week, so I want to get
Really?
something. I want to catch
Let's
the
do that
hype we
on
can.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll drop his like I mean I'll double check the date, but yeah, Baby Front's getting a whole section right now.
Air Force Ones.
No, yeah, this is
She
just
like
wait
the
for
way
it.
I wear
That
Air
that
Force
that
Ones.
should be out by the time this episode's out because we're a week ahead. So yeah, no, it's but yeah, we're shooting that on Wednesday. But he brought up actually he responded to it and he brought up the point of balancing being an artist and working. Which I mean,
Yeah.
this isn't the best episode because we don't have an artist here to get an opinion on, but it's definitely the being an artist. I think that we had the interview we had with the guy who was about interning. He's also an artist, and I think he made a good point on being an artist. There isn't it's a lot more difficult to be an artist in the short term than like a videographer or one of these service providers,
Yeah.
just for the sheer fact that the services generate money. Being an
Yeah.
artist, it's a gamble. Even if you have the best system, you have the marketing, everything, there's still a layer that is luck and is a gamble. Um, so I mean, being an artist and balancing it all, to my knowledge, the only thing that I've seen works is you need to find something that's sustainable. You need to be able to do it indefinitely.
Yeah.
So it's the
You don't want to
people
be
I
bouncing
know,
around.
yeah, or like there's two types of people I see. The one who's like scraping money together, doing whatever just to get money and chasing like this next thing has to blow up to I need to get out with this next thing versus the person who works like the artist who work jobs during the day or do whatever find like have careers or do other stuff to bring income in that they don't have that same stress so then they could sustain the artistry.
Yeah.
So I think it really is the key is I mean is the balance of you need to have income to live and to put money into being an artist because
Absolutely.
it's expensive. I mean, what would you on the rough side, what would you say an art like I think you've thrown numbers around like an artist needs XYZ like on your average release if you were gonna let's say they had a whatever budget an ideal budget for an artist to promote a single if they're I know I would guess I mean over $1,000 if you comfortably want to really
Yeah.
I mean and if you want to go the full scope of the full run you want to get a music video and you want to
Yeah.
do a
'Cause
press run
including
and you
all
want to
that, absolutely.
market it's like you're spending a lot of money and that's where I think it comes to you like we say in like I think every episode now building a system and finding a balance that works like all right I work this job I get off work at this time
Yeah.
I have an hour every day to fill if you only have an hour that it is what it is make the most out of it figure out the things you
Got your
can
weekends.
exactly yeah and figure out a system that works like you don't have to go and spend that $1,000 every release say you have no money to drop it you can still figure out a balance and a system I work I get out I have an hour every day all right I'm gonna do content or I'm gonna uh spend an hour every day DMing people or
Yeah.
just reaching out there isn't I think a lot of artists look for like a secret or it's really just discipline I think and
Yeah.
what we're saying in the
Absolutely.
balance of like because it's a indefinite thing you have to be able to sustain like having the vision of like oh this one's gonna be what is it yeah like I find artists you're gonna get let down more times just thinking like banking
No,
on
you
this
can't.
song
Yeah.
being it's
You can't do that with anything, not just music. You can't just put all your eggs into one basket and just you can't think like that. Like, if you have any type of business, not just music, you can't just think that one move is gonna be the move. It's about just like the rep rotations. Like we're talking about how we're gonna take the earnings from the first God knows how many episodes that we do and reinvest it into paying bigger artists to come onto the platform. Like that's what you need to do. It's not like we're gonna do that once and we're gonna be the biggest platform. We're gonna might have to do that 50 times. We might have to do it 5 times. We might have to do it 8 times. You know what I mean? Like there's no telling how many times we're gonna have to do it, and there's no telling how many posts we're gonna have to make to get our desired result. And that's just the thing, is that you just can't. It's like that video that I want to recreate. Remember, with the guy with the
Oh, the
pickaxe?
pickaxe, yeah.
I want to recreate that, like
Yeah,
in one of the rooms, because like I think that's the perfect way to put it. Like, you could be right there, you could be far, you could be.
yeah, and it's different for everybody,
Yeah.
and you never know how close it is.
And a certain amount of this shit is luck too. That's the thing that people don't realize, is that like, even if you do everything right, like there's a certain ounce of this that, and it's not the whole thing, but there's a certain aspect of this that is just luck. And you have to be lucky, you have to get lucky, especially with content and viral moments. Building an audience the low and slow way, where you're just building a fan a day, is what they call it. That doesn't require as much luck. But to go viral and to just be immediately accepted by the masses, that takes a certain level of luck. And you just need to be understanding of that, and you can't try and force your luck early, or try and force your time earlier than it's supposed to.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, I think the way I see it is like if I were to be an artist, it's the mindset of treat each release like this can be the one that changes your life, but don't have the
But have
expectation.
the next one ready.
Yeah, you need like have be but don't bank on like yeah, like don't be like have no next step because this one's
Right.
gonna be the one. Like every video I do, I put my heart in like this video could be the one that changes everything or every project or but it's not like I'm not planning tomorrow we're gonna do this shoot or next month I'm gonna do these
Yeah.
projects or I know in next year or next month I want to do this thing. It's like I'm planning as if the thing doesn't blow up, but
Right.
I'm working and treating each project as if it could be the one to blow up. I think that's a good like mindset to have with it because like yeah, I see a lot of people and I've worked with a lot of people that it's like, bro, this one's gonna change everything, and it's like the song,
Yeah.
like you said, the song can be as good as we could do everything right, but you might have to do everything right five songs,
Yeah.
and then the first one might hit after doing it right for five. It just like you said, it's luck. So you need to build. The key is to build a system that you can
You
sustain
have to get as many at bats as possible.
and I think where a lot of artists get discouraged with that is a lot of artists don't actually like care about the art or like the music or like love what they're doing and like enough that it outweighs that. Because I know if this if this wasn't working to this day, I'd still be making videos because I was making videos for 5 years before I knew I could generate money. I was sitting
No,
there waiting.
a lot of artists want the glitz and the glamour of being an artist. They want to live the lifestyle, drive the Rolls Royce, have the fancy watches, walk around with the 50 ball of money, you know what I mean? But nobody really, or few and far people in between, want to actually put in the work necessary to get to that point. Nobody wants to spend, weeks at a time on the road, sleeping out of a van, you know what I mean? Like, and people say, "Oh yeah, I would do that." And it's like, "No, you wouldn't." You know what I mean? Like, you're saying that now, but you'd be the first one complaining on that van, you know what I mean? And there's just a lot of endurance that this shit takes, and people want to, and just, this isn't just music, people just want to reap the benefit without the reward, or sorry, without the work. And I think that at the end of the day, just, unfortunately, I think society in general, and especially people in our age group, myself being 27,
24.
I think that the biggest problem with our age group is just the fact that we as a group tend to look for most amount of money for least amount of work. And while
Hmm.
in theory that sounds really good, and in theory that's really smart, that's actually like really fucking bad. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, if you think about it, like, of course you'd want to have the most amount of money for the least amount of work, but like, do you really think that life is supposed to be just an endless vacation? You know what I mean? Like, people have this unrealistic perception of what the life is supposed to be like because of social media, and it just disgusts me. You know what I mean? It really does. I don't know how else to put it, because these people, like, it's like, oh yeah, like I've always said, like we joked about it before, people will hop in front of the whiteboard and they'll just take an amount of money and multiply it by another number and be like, this is how we're gonna make $25,000. And then if once we just make, you know what I mean? And it's like, they're not trying to help anybody. They're not trying to better themselves or the people around them. All they're trying to do is most amount of money, least amount of time. And that's an ass backwards way of thinking.
I think a lot of people don't view this career as it's like starting any business. Like I think
Yeah.
we've said before, it's like if you opened a tattoo shop or a falafel stand, you wouldn't be thinking, how can I make the most like it's like this is the product we make, this is the
Yes.
price, how can we get more business? How do we
Yep.
make people happier? Is it can we lower the pro like the raise the profit margin? But like and in any other field outside of entertainment, if you were starting at just any business, it wouldn't be viewed that same way, that it's this like rush to whatever,
Right.
or this yeah, I like to objectively look at my business as not like in the entertainment, like it is just like at McDonald's or something, where you're just, this is, we have these services and how can we scale every day, we like build good relationships with your clients and with the
How can
people
we
around
sell
you,
a
and
million videos?
exactly,
You
yeah.
know.
I was gonna say, where do we think the idea of like the one hit wonder comes from? Because I feel like that's a big reason why artists are so like, all right, this next one's gonna hit, this next one's gonna hit. I feel like most people don't understand that most people who do blow up have been doing exactly what both of you were saying, like releasing perfectly every single time for 8 straight weeks, and then that ninth one just boom. Like my favorite example is Lil Tecca Ransom, because I knew Lil Tecca had 40,000 followers before he made that song. Lil Tecca was with internet money before he made that song. Like there's a lot of stuff that has to happen before you blow up, and I feel like what what do people have to do to actually get to that point where they understand the industry more and not think of it like that?
I think that the biggest thing is the Blue House example. You know what I mean? And it's just like, until you've actively accomplished something in the music industry, the only way and the only opinion you have of it is based on what other people tell you, and people can tell you whatever they want. There's nothing that stops me from telling you whatever I want, except for my own moral code. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But there's nothing that stops me from telling you this is how something works. And the thing that people don't understand is, by the time a record is considered a hit record, there's probably been $250,000 spent on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's not, that shit doesn't happen for free. You don't get on
No.
the radio for free. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
like
You don't get this shit for free. Nothing is free. There's nothing is free
yeah.
except for me answering your questions. But there's nothing in
In
this
this
world is
podcast.
free. You know what I mean? That's it. You know, outside of a consultation, that's the most you'll get for somebody for free. Why? Because everything costs money. Why does everything cost money? Because everybody wants to get paid. Why does everybody get paid? Because the artists walk around with $500,000 in cash all the time and then wonder why people want to get paid. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and I think another, I think we touched on the, I think it was the second episode we talked about it. Like you're saying, like the idea of like the overnight success, like the overnight success only comes after years of, like you say, people will say Tekka was an overnight success. He dropped Ransom and blew up. It's like that denies all the other things he did, like that didn't work, that taught
yeah,
him something, and this, and like
Yeah.
that's what people deny. They just see an art, they never heard of an artist, and then they hear about him all over the place one day, and just because you didn't hear about him yesterday and today he's everywhere, doesn't mean he wasn't doing anything yesterday
yeah.
and tomorrow, like he was doing whatever, and that person was building it. And a lot of that stuff doesn't get seen a lot, especially a lot of these artists or these industry plant, quote unquote, people that they people claim are industry plants. They don't see that work, and it makes them think, oh, I just got to drop hot songs.
Yeah. All an
Yeah.
industry plant is an artist that's signed early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You
always
know?
like, I never got the whole industry plant, like the industry put like, I mean,
The only person that would call somebody an industry plant is a fan that doesn't really know what the word means, or a hater. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's
Yeah.
only two types of people are going to use that word. Either a fan that has absolutely no idea what it means, or an artist that wishes they were the artist that has the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I would agree to that, yeah, because I don't, like, it just seems crazy to me to look at somebody, like, even if somebody, it wasn't, like, they were a nobody, and then they're on all these things and labels funneling money, it's like, even like, yeah, like, I look at that and I'm go, good for them, like, they get, like, whatever, it's, to have the negativity with that, yeah, it's like, they just, like, an insecurity, like, I feel like I say it a lot, but, yeah, just wanting to be in that position, or, yeah, like you said, people who look at it and like, why not me? Like, why didn't I get that? And it's just like, again, you might not have seen all of the work or whatever that person put in behind the scenes to do it. And I think a lot of people get misconstrued. Like, you got, this is my point. I gotta love it. Like even like the little success I've had doing it only came from, like we just started this talking about, Steve, the endless amount of 6 a.m. nights that get to the point where it can be sustained. It's like, I'm never gonna sit here and make force everyone to, I spent every night to 6 a.m. to get, it's like I just did it because I wanted to do it, and you get they get the things, and the people who want the quick success, like, don't put that effort in. And like, if you wanted to put that effort in, you would be putting it in, and you probably wouldn't be one to say the, like to go the other way about it. I definitely, yeah, like the whole industry plan thing has always been like super like interesting to me because I always like that's so common. I hear artists be like, "Oh, but he's just an industry plant," and like write somebody off. But
As if
you
you
would.
wouldn't, as if you
Oh,
wouldn't love to be him.
I was gonna say those same people. If the
Come
label
on.
came to you and was like, "We're gonna just tell you everything to do, and you're just gonna do it, and we're gonna give you money," they and 95% of the
Happily
people,
be like, thank you,
yeah, it's
please.
but yeah, the whole idea, like we said in the second episode, it's the overnight success comes from just like consistency doing it, and there is no like that doesn't mean you have to spend 10 hours a day doing that thing. If you don't have the time to do it, if you have to work a job all day and you only have an hour or two of night and your weekends, like that's what it is. It's like
Yeah.
and you can't hate on somebody else who might have more time to put something in. You just it is your situation, your situation. It is what it is. The same way, if whatever your life situation was, you wouldn't like, and you couldn't get a promotion for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's like that's just what it like. You just got to do what you
Absolutely.
got to play the hand, play the hand you were dealt, and make the most out of it. I think social media is one of like the best tools because artists can promote themselves so much, but it's also the most toxic thing there is in society as far as
Yeah.
like I don't consume social media. I'm actively posting on multiple accounts a day, but I very rarely now will sit and just scroll and consume because it's just it breeds the comparison, and then the artist goes, "Oh, this person has this. Why don't I have that?" And it's like that just takes up space in your brain where you could just be using on yourself, and the time you're sitting there watching somebody else's Instagram, you could be actively working on your stuff. And you say, "I don't have enough time to do stuff," but you have enough time to watch other people's Instagram and complain about what
You
they
have
have
enough
and you
time to
don't. Yeah, it's like you have time to look at Instagram and see what other people are doing that you're not. But why instead of doing that, why like just invest the time into yourself, get off social media. As much as I tell everyone to be on it and post it, you can actively post every day and not use social media. I do it pretty frequently. I still slip up and will be on TikTok one night, all night, just scrolling. But for the most part, you can use social media and not be on it consuming and have it take over your life. You can find a healthy balance, going back to balance. Because I think this is for you, baby 400, asking that question. I think the key is balance. It's finding the balance, and it looks different for everybody. Logan's balance is different than my balance, then is different than Steve's balance, is different for an artist. It's you gotta like the balance, it makes sense for your life, and
Facts.
you just gotta figure it out and act off it. There was different times of my life when I was in college. I didn't have a lot of time because I was in school all day, and you just make it work. Find time, and if you really wanted to do the thing, you would do it. And that's where, like, not in like a, not to say like everyone complaining it shouldn't be complaining because some people have a valid points, but if you really wanted to do the thing, you would just be doing it. There wouldn't be an
Yep.
excuse of if I had this, I would just be able to do it, or if I had that, or on any level. If I just had somebody to shoot my videos, I'd be good. Or if I just had this, it's like if you really wanted that thing, you'd do it. And I think again we said on the first episode, it's like if you wanted to go see if your favorite artist was in town and you wanted to go see that concert, I'm sure you'd find a way to get out of
Go see
work
them.
or find someone to watch your
Absolutely.
kid and do that. And it's like you got like
Calling
you
the cavalry for that.
it's just about what you want, and I think a
To
hard
go
fact that
pay
a
to
lot
see
of
another
people
man.
don't swallow is they don't actually want that. They just want the to be a celebrity or to have the benefits of it, but they don't actually want what comes with it. Because even the biggest celebrities, that everyone wants to be Drake, but they don't acknowledge like there's still a giant layer of like a level of work that Drake has to do that
To
nobody.
maintain that.
If you're going, you can be.
That shit ain't easy to maintain.
No.
That's what I'm saying. If I went, I can make you Drake tomorrow, but these are the things you're gonna have to do every day. 95% of those
I'd be
people
like, no.
would not be able to do it, would not want to do it, would not be able to do it, would not be able to sustain it because it's they're like I'm losing my train of thought, but
I think he just made a really good comment that we could segue into. It's why is it that it's so easy for people you know, like your friends, to see someone like Drake or Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole, any of these guys, go spend
they could.
$150 like that, boom, don't even think about it. But you, as a person, like if I put up, I'm having an event at my studio, not gonna drop the address on the podcast, but at the studio, like $25 a pop, I bet my boys would text me and be like, "Yo, do I have to pay for this?"
Yeah.
Like, why? I don't understand. Like, what is the disconnect that people have when they see like a Drake and they see their friend doing it?
Uh, honestly, I'm not sure, and it is interesting because there is a layer of like, yeah, it's like it's like a cliche thing that you'll support the big artist, but not support your boy when he drops a shirt for $15.
Mm-hmm.
But Drake new Travis Scott shoes go out and you're standing out line. And I mean, it makes sense. And like, it's funny enough you say that. Malcolm, one of the artists I work with frequently, Malcolm was just here, and
Orlando's.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he was just here, and he literally pulled me aside and just like he was like, "Yo, bro, like I just wanted to support," and just handed me some cash. Wasn't for anything. He was like, "Bro, I really just like love what you're doing here. I know it's expensive, and I want to support any way I can." And it's like, regardless of what it like, it's just the thought that he would even have that to want to support, and it's like there definitely are people that will support, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It is something interesting that yeah, it's like I mean, I hear it a lot with artists that like an artist, the hardest place to build a fan base for an artist is usually with where they're from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's way easier for an artist to go make fan bases somewhere where nobody knows them versus your hometown where everyone knows you as whoever from high school
Yeah.
like and not taking it.
That's
it,
probably what it is.
it
People just taking the person you were when you were a literal child versus the person you grew up into, and they don't like disconnect those two.
yeah, it's yeah, that definitely is an interesting thing. You see it a lot, and honestly, when I feel like when you do have that support system of the people who actually can do it, it's I mean that's when things work. I feel like I mean maybe I like it's a little off, but like places like Atlanta, I feel like work so well as like a nucleus because all these artists are in constant collaborations and helping each other and on each other's songs and it's more of a like a crock pot of people all creating this stew together versus just like Jersey is big on everyone knows each other and everyone supports each other, but everyone kind of just is focused on like just their own thing. It's
Yeah.
versus growing all together. It's like if you're doing something, I'm gonna come to your event and I'm gonna promote it. So then you come to mine and we all kind of grow this thing together where everyone kind of just like surface level supports everyone. And I feel like that's a lot of it too. Is like the surface level support where it's like they'll like your Instagram post, but like you said, they'll go to the Drake concert, but and they'll talk to their friends who are artists and tell them everything. But then when it comes down to the actual support, it's like, and you don't have to support everybody, but I also think there's a lot of fake like surface level support. It's if you're really gonna support someone, support them. If not, like you don't have to support everyone. You can't support everyone. It's I mean, there's
Impossible.
I
how
mean,
who
I know
knows
people
people.
that won't post their mom for Mother's Day, but will post Drake on his birthday. People are
Yeah,
crazy.
it's definitely interesting. And then at the same time, I know people who will repost everything of their friends, and it's yeah, it definitely is an interesting thing, and it's something I like. I hope artists don't get discouraged by a lot. It's just one of these things you have to accept as a fact. It is what it is, and don't get salty about it. I think don't like take it out on your boys of like, damn, none of them were like. It is what it is.
No,
If those
nobody owes anybody
yeah,
support.
if they're your boys, like, and they're not supporting you, like maybe they're just your boys. On like when you clock out or you leave the studio, you hang out with them. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone doesn't have to play every position in your life, but I just completely lost my thought.
Pause.
Long pause. But yeah, it's I don't know. Like you definitely like building a support system is important, but your support system could be one person. Like Logan said about like his whole like social life is his significant other. Your whole support system could be your significant other. It could be your mom. Like you might only need that one person, and it's easy to get fixated and caught up on all these people who don't support me. But like Logan just said, nobody owes anybody support. It's your job as the artist to get people to want to support you and get people to want
Yeah,
to be a fan
Believe in
and
yourself.
yeah
absolutely.
and I definitely think that right that's a good point but like believe in yourself and because to me personally I feel like it's it comes off very clear to somebody who believes in themselves wholeheartedly and somebody who doesn't and I resonate towards people who just believe in themselves like Logan like when we first linked up and talked about the studio and I came here it was like your belief in yourself is evident just having a conversation with you and I think that speaks a lot and it says a lot about who you would be then to support somebody else that you believe in because people are only gonna like Law said this in the second episode or something similar. Don't support somebody who doesn't support themselves. People are only going to support another person more as much as they can support themselves. Typically less. Like I can't. I'm not. Somebody's not going to support me more than they're actively going into their own dream. So you look at the people around you. Are they pursuing the things they want? Because typically I find the people who aren't supporting you, like those friends that aren't supporting you, probably aren't supporting their own dreams or their
Yeah.
own visions. Because my friends I know who are happy right now pursuing what they want are quick to support and show love because they understand the love for it and
What
the
it
and the
means.
genuine passion of it. Um, and kinda going to the other side of that, I think there's a lot of people who are not like we said, like, they're not actually meant to be artists, they just want the lifestyle that comes with it, so you can feel, like, there's just something you can feel that it's not they don't, like, have that in that, like, the passion for it, and when you really feel someone's passion for a thing, it says a lot, and it almost makes you wanna support it when you just see how passionate somebody is about something, like,
Yeah.
regardless of the following they have, like, if you like, somebody
But
who, like
self-confidence is everything. Confidence in yourself, because you can't expect. I mean, how can you expect somebody else to believe in you when you don't even believe in yourself? You know what I
exactly,
mean?
like
It's like you can't be in a relationship with somebody if you're not ready to be in a good relationship with yourself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you can't do anything without that self-confidence. And I think that that's what a lot of people really just don't realize is like you need a ridiculous amount of self-confidence to make it as an entrepreneur. And like I said in a reel the other day, if not, and you don't want to do that, Amazon is always hiring. They pay good.
and there's
You know
nothing
what I
They
like,
mean?
do
Like,
one
pay
there's nothing
they pay
wrong with
very
that.
well.
Like, you could do that, and nobody's gonna think anything of you. But if you want to be the man, you got to act like the man.
one thing I think a lot of people too get skewed by that is people feel like there's like I was just having somebody you actually I think you know him Heartbreak Kid
Yeah.
K.
Oh yeah. He
Um
almost he almost works for me.
oh word yeah
He makes music still.
nah but he might be soon.
Really?
I don't know if I'm leaking something for him, but I just had like a 3 hour conversation with him yeah like 2 days ago about this, and we had a deep what we talked about. I think he'd be a good person to bring in the podcast because like we had a deep conversation about. I feel like a lot of artists feel like just because they decide they want to be an artist, they need to do like it needs to be something. It doesn't need to be anything that like you don't want to. Like maybe you don't want to put like you said that effort in to be Drake. I don't want to put the effort in to be Drake. Like you said, I'm
Yeah.
trying to find a balance of my work life. But
You
there's
want to
nothing
know
wrong with that.
another big mistake that I think artists make, and a huge mistake that artists are making today, is that as an artist, it's really hard to focus on the fan more than anything else. But as an artist, you shouldn't be chasing DJs, you shouldn't be chasing booking agents, you shouldn't be chasing A&Rs, you shouldn't be chasing promoters, you should be chasing fans and building fans. Because with fans, you will unlock all of the other opportunities that you want to go on. You want to perform on tour? Guess what you need? Fans. You want to sell merch? Guess what you need? Fans. You want to get signed? Guess what you need? Fans. So if you're spending all of your time trying to recruit other industry professionals to give you a chance when you're missing the lifeblood of the industry being the fan. Without the fans, you can't do anything because the fans is how this entire industry monetizes. Fans produce streams, fans produce merch sales, fans produce ticket sales. Those are your three main ways that you're getting paid. And sponsorships are paid in accordance to the amount of fans that you have and the amount of interactions that you're bringing in. So if you're an artist, stop chasing industry professionals and start looking for fans. Go to the mall. Don't stand in front of the record label. Don't go to the club and try and give your hard drive to the DJ. Go to the fucking outlets and give your cards to people. You know what I mean? Go to the school and talk to kids at let out. You know what I mean? Do something besides beg the local DJ to put you on the radio.
Yeah, because I think like going off that, I think a lot of people, yeah, they have this vision that like one industry person or one connected person can change their life when it's like everything else in the music industry in it, I feel like is reliant, like you said, on the fan base. It all comes back to building like the goal is building a fan base. So if you just not don't worry about all this stuff and just
Right.
build a fan base, everything else, literally everything else, like you said, will come. But a fan base might not come with everything else.
Yeah.
You can get the best A&R, you get the best manager, best everything, like every A&R in the world knows you and
And
likes
you want to
you.
know what a lot, not to just jump in, but this is another thing that I really think people need to understand is that if you get signed and you lose that A&R money, you just got somebody fired. Like if you as an artist fail, your A&R is going with you 9 times out of 10, unless they have a lot of successes under their belt. They're out to the curb the same way that you are. So you're responsible for multiple people's well-being. So you can't fuck around.
And it goes going off that it's like people chase this deal and they chase this record deal and like you can like the only thing that gives you yeah you can just hop on the only thing that gives somebody leverage in those situations so you can get what you want out of it is the fan base. If
Absolutely.
you got if you got a meeting with the best label in the world and you had zero fan base, you have to just say yes to them if you want whatever.
Yeah.
They're gonna tell you
You
what
have
they
no
want from you.
leverage.
Like the more fan base you have, the less you need them, so you have more to leverage out of it.
Fan base equals leverage.
Yeah, but that's what I think a lot of people. It's that is interesting that like I didn't think about much that like yeah I feel like the chasing like build a fan base is almost gone.
You know,
It's
how
like
many people you were
chasing a
across the
label.
street from your other studios across the street from DJ Drewski's spot, which is a perfect example of this. You know how many times people probably beg that man to get on the radio? Like that man puts you on the radio, like that's a great man right there. That man puts you on the radio, nothing's gonna change unless you do something with it. And you now take a video of it and turn it into a social media moment or capture the content, or you are going to need to do something with it. But just getting the radio spin, you'll go to sleep because he spins his unknown artists on Sunday night. You get a spin on Sunday night, you'll wake up on Monday morning, and if nobody tells you got spun, you won't even know because
Yeah,
it's not going to impact anything anymore. And it's like people beg that man to go on the radio, and it's like, what are you doing? Go beg somebody at the mall to listen to your project. It's worth
yeah.
more than him posting it on the radio.
I mean, yeah, because I think people are constantly looking for that, like
I couldn't imagine doing his
the
job.
the quick the I feel like a lot of people are chasing, like we say, that like the quick thing that's gonna just take them to the next step
Yeah.
when the only thing that really changes anything is the like you say the groundwork of building the fan bases. It's
Yeah, the
like
fan changes
no,
everything.
if you met Jersey and he put you on the radio and you became friends with him, like you said, that like I doubt that's gonna like cool, but that's
Great for you.
that's not generating you more fans. It's like cool, what like the focus should always
You need
be
to go
on
on the
building
radio a
fan base.
lot for it to work, like multiple times a week for weeks for it to click. Radio is the last frontier. It's the icing on the cake. It's the cherry on top. It's the last thing. Once the record is viral everywhere else, all right,
Then it's on
splash the
radio,
radio
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
it. Once it's a sure thing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and like kind of going back to the other point I was saying, I think one thing I think a lot of artists like, and not everyone necessarily should be pursuing it as a business because there's nothing wrong with just being an artist and just making music and releasing it.
Just for the hell of it.
Just because you love like that's what I was talking about with Heartbreak the other day about like he was just clearly we were talking for like 2 3 hours and he just had this clear like he just wanted to make music but he had this set like this thing holding him back of like but it's not going to be viral, it's not going to be like radio music, and I was like if you want to make the music, why are you stopping yourself because it's not going to be whatever.
Right.
If you wanted to make it, why not just make it and release it. And I think that's one thing that a lot of artists like it just like sucks because at the end of the day, I love art and music and like I obviously I want to build a career and I want to see all these people build careers from it. But there is nothing wrong with being an artist. Some of my favorite people who make music are my friends who just make music, and it's just cool. And I have friends who are painters, and they're not famous painters. They just paint at home and they make beautiful paintings, and they're so happy when they do their art. And there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like society and social media makes you feel like if you're an artist and release music, it's got to be this thing, and every song has got to have a million streams, and every Instagram post has to have a million comments. It's like if you want to build a business, it's one thing, but also there's nothing wrong with just making art and releasing it to the world. And sometimes building that habit is the best way to start doing it because if you just build that habit of I just love making music, or I just love making art, whatever it is, paintings, drawings, videos, music, producer, I just like making this thing. Just get in the habit of when you have free time, make that thing, and then at a certain point, whether you have to set a timer, a deadline, whatever it is, like set something that forces you to release it at a certain point, so you're not constantly working on one song for 6 years because it's got to be perfect. It's like the death of a lot of art is the perfect chasing the perfection. It's like nothing like no art is perfect. It's the art is perfect when the artist decides to release it. That's
Yeah.
when that piece is done and it's perfect for what it is and it's on to the next thing. Because if you're the artist chasing the viral thing, it's crazy to me because they're chasing this viral thing, but it almost seems like they just want one thing to go viral and so they could just kick their feet up and not like you're not what about your next song? You don't care about your like what's the it's create, release, not for the intention to change your life necessarily, but like create, release, so you're free to then create
Yeah.
the next thing.
Absolutely.
And you do that indefinitely for the rest of your life. And if that sounds daunting, that might be a
Might be an
sign that
inkling to
this isn't the
change
career for you.
careers.
Because and there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you go into being a manager. Maybe it isn't creating this stuff. Maybe you don't want to do it every day.
I prefer helping artists figure out that they don't want to make music anymore more than I do helping the artists almost. I feel more empowered inside when I help somebody figure out that they could play on the other side of the
And
ball,
it's where
Yeah.
they fit
you
better. I
know?
mean, I've talked not out of doing music, but I've talked to people out of who've hit me up for videos, talked them out of paying me whatever for videos, uh, because it's like just purely off of like this isn't like you're just chasing after whatever it is. It's like you should do this, save this money or whatever. There isn't like this expectation from social media that it's got to be a certain way. There's
Yeah.
nothing. Not everyone's meant to be an artist. Like I got into making videos because I love music and I love rap and I love and but I didn't chase after because I love music, I wasn't chasing after, "Oh, I gotta go hop in the booth and be the." I like music,
Hell no.
I wanted to find a way that I could be around music and listen to music and interact with music that I liked every single day and do it in a way that I was happy to do for the rest of my life. I'm happy to finish today's video, send it out. Tomorrow, I'm shooting the next video and I'm gonna edit it, and then I'm excited for the next one because 'cause I'm just excited to do this every day, and the benefits and the business growing is great, and that's just like almost the icing on top of the cake. That's like the record. That's like the
Facts.
that allows me more time and resources to do what I want even more. It's not what's gonna allow me to do it almost. I feel like a lot of artists are looking for this record deal that allows them or like this being on the radio or whatever. They're looking for this thing that allows them to then do it or be the person when it's like, I don't know. I'm excited to get up. Oh, I'm able to do this today. I'm able to make a video today. I'm gonna
Right.
make a video and I'm gonna do it. And tomorrow I'm gonna do the same thing.
We're
I
making
feel like
videos tomorrow.
I feel like if your ultimate goal is to become viral, then you're not in it for the music.
Yeah,
Like you'll
facts.
never make the music that you desire to make if your ultimate goal is to be a famous viral person or somebody that hangs out with famous viral
Yeah.
people.
You know what? And I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that either. I think it's just getting real honest with yourself about what you want because
Yeah.
maybe you do just want to be viral. You just want to be Mr. Viral everywhere. There's nothing wrong with that. Now if you just accept that that's what that is, you could take the pressure off of the music and chase the trends and do, oh, this trend's hot, do that. But like you can do
Have
that and
fun with
there's
it.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like, I think people have to really spend time and be honest with themselves about what they want because, like you said, I think people look at social media or they talk to people or they know their big homie from their town that blew up or did this and then they chase after that. But it's like you just got to be honest. Like some people do just like want to be Mr. Viral. They like I don't
Absolutely.
necessarily care about the quality of the music. This shit's hype. I like it. I just want everyone to listen to it and bump to it in the club. It's like just get real brutally honest with what you want, and it's really hard to do that, and I don't think you could do that just from one time, like, just from listening to us hear this, it's gonna take you hearing us, like, saying this, and maybe in a month, 2 months, a year, whatever, maybe hearing this did it for you right now, or maybe it take a year and one day it clicks, but, like, one day it'll be really obvious what you want when maybe you get that super viral thing, and now you have to do all these things, these press runs and this and that, and you're like, "Wow, I hate this, I'm so unhappy," and that's the moment you realize, "Wait, this actually wasn't what I wanted." And I feel like a lot of like that leads to a lot of like could easily lead to like depression and being upset because now you're in this position that you were chasing your whole life and envisioning, and now you're in, and it's like, wait, this like I didn't want this because you like never took the time to be honest with yourself about what you want. Like I know I want my company to be huge, but I know like I don't care about the big viral thing. I am excited to make a video every day, so I'm gonna build a system or do something that allows me to do a video every day. Now, when there's an opportunity to do something that can boost the thing or a clip, like doing the too rare thing, that's dope. And I'm not gonna sit here like I don't care about clout, like I'm not gonna do it. It's like if the opportunity comes up, go for it. But don't like I don't not sacrifice yourself, but don't go back on your
Don't
morals.
sacrifice your dignity.
Yeah, like to a certain level, like there are people and there are like things that like I don't care. Like I've turned down bigger artists or done things where I don't care because it's like I know the level that like if the opportunity is good and it's cool, like I'm down, but I'm not gonna sacrifice what I want. Oh yeah, the rap rotation. What?
Well, I got 0 views, but I'm still gonna post again.
Yeah, post it again tomorrow.
I
That's
was
good.
gonna. This isn't some giant revelation or anything, but I'm kind of realizing this right now. Is that the reason why there's so much oversaturation in the music industry and why we see like in my opinion, music is so much worse than it used to be. Like there used to be so much more genuinely talented people who made music because they loved it and were famous for that reason versus people who are just like we talk about artists who see artists that they might think is terrible, but they're super famous. I think nowadays it's easier for the music industry to sell somebody who is very tenacious in the sense of going out and putting themselves out there rather than being the person who's like, I'm not doing this because it's not fitting my music taste or like how I feel about it. And that's why music has gotten to this point where it's like anybody can be viral because literally anybody can be viral. It's not
I
about
gotta
the
call
talent
this guy.
anymore.
Yeah.
So,
All right, go for it.
see you guys tomorrow. We doing
Enjoy.
repetitions tomorrow, 6 to
All right,
9.
man.
Yep, 6 to 9.
Got you.
I'll be doing Venus stuff before that, so if you're here.
Hello?
Yeah, but I
Man, this
definitely.
thing's up.
Yeah, like
Venus.
anybody can be viral. Like you don't have to be. We've talked
Yeah.
about this previously, and I think last podcast too. Like you don't have to be the most talented person in the world anymore. You can just be normal Joe. But if you have the drive to throw yourself in a dumpster covered in caramel, you'll get
That's
2
it.
million views.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I yeah, it's no, yeah, I definitely, and I mean with the oversaturation, it's there's a level that it's just like the talent isn't what we've said it before. The talent isn't the music industry isn't based around talent. It's based around how much you're willing to do and go after. Like that's what the music industry, and that's why I, to a certain extent, like my dream isn't to be in the music industry. It's to operate as much outside the industry as I can, and grow as much as possible that way. Because it's like the industry is chasing is doing that. It's sacrificing what you might find good just to just to chase after what like the trend or do the thing, and it's like I don't know, it's really you got to be really objective with yourself, and it's a hard pill to swallow if you're like I am not that person who wants to do that stuff. It's a hard pill to swallow that like you have to accept that you might never have a viral moment or have this thing, but like there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be viral. I feel like everyone makes it seem like you have to have a million followers and be the biggest thing. It's like especially now more than ever, you can have if you have 1,000, 2,000 real core fans, you can really like build a life and build something and use that to leverage and develop a life where nobody knows you in the grand scheme, but you have this life that's funded doing what you want to, and you're giving to the fans and people who care about you. You don't need to have a song, you don't need to have a million monthly listeners. It like that's cool and that can come, but you can get that while pursuing gaining your fan a day or building a core fan base. You can do the same thing. Like you can actively be pursuing that viral moment at the same time. I think, and I feel like people choose to chase the viral moment and leave out the build a fan a day because it's just one person. And like, well, if the viral works, that's a million fans. But that's like saying like getting a date. That's like being like, I'm not gonna work a job. I'm just gonna play the lottery every day because if the lottery works, I'll make a lot more money than if all the money I would have made working this job my whole life. But you're just banking on how long are you gonna keep doing that? Like, what if it took 40 years to do that, and you only have 30 more years alive? You're not gonna ever get that. So it building the fan today and really doing that. We're kind of going. Feel like we're going all over the place
Yeah.
now.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's I know we provide services and we were just talking about how the artist is more it's like gamble and it's more luck, but at the same time it's very comparable because I used to, I don't know if you ever did this, but when I started, I was a very big like let me go shoot the first famous person I see. Like if I shoot this famous person, like they're gonna post me on their page and then I'm gonna get so many clients and then this and that. And then you slowly realize like that doesn't mean anything. Like it literally means nothing. Nobody looks at a famous person's page, checks the videographer, and is like, "Whoa!" Like
It's
nobody
like,
cares.
You know
Yeah,
who does?
no.
The other videographer.
The
Yeah,
other
exactly.
camera
The
team,
other,
the
Yeah,
other
like we're like,
people-
"Whoa,
the
who
other
did
people
that?"
in
Like,
your
yeah,
field? And
exactly.
yeah.
And my point being with that is once I stopped looking at this industry like I need to work with somebody famous, and then started working with you and started paying attention to how you worked and paying attention to the clients and making sure everybody's happy. Now I look at myself and I'm actually making money, and I'm like, wow, it makes sense. Like
It
that's
goes-
how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
100%. I think it goes kind of like we were saying, but like if you owned any other business, like my dad opened a tattoo shop when I was a kid, and he ran a tattoo shop, and I watched him do that. Yeah, and it wasn't like he was like, I gotta get Drake in my tattoo shop so I could do a tattoo for him and blow this bitch up.
Yeah.
No, he just promoted and get someone came in, you need a tattoo, make sure that person's really happy. So then
Yeah.
that person goes home happy and they're gonna come back happy. And you know what? That person who's happy is gonna go home and show the good thing you did off to somebody else, and then their friend might come in. Now there's two people. And now when they are happy, they come back. And yeah, I'm not viral tomorrow, but if you do that every single day, and you do like Logan said, a fan a day, you do one client a day, you make one client happy a day, then that chances are that person comes back with at least one friend or two or three. And that's how most businesses are made. That's how wedding videographers and wedding photographers, to my knowledge, I don't want to speak for everybody. I've only known, I think, two professional wedding videographers, but they didn't become successful doing it by booking Kim Kardashian's wedding. They did a wedding for free, for cheap, whatever, to get a wedding and just made sure that client was happy. And then when that bride's all her friends got married, who do you think she's gonna? Oh, my videographer is so easy to work with, and my photographer was so good, and it was like that's and then oh, you do that every day, and then over a year you have a sustainable base where now you, like you said, now you look back and it's like, damn, like I mean, just use an example. All like the lit things I did, like I've done and had the opportunity to do, it like none of that, to my knowledge, has built me a sustainable base. It's cool, and people will talk to me. Oh yeah, you went to like got to go to like the BET Awards, right? It's like yeah, that's cool. Everyone likes to talk about it, but that's not that's not
Yeah,
gonna pay my
nah.
rent. That's not gonna generate money. That's not gonna bring more client. Like it's cool and like kind of like Logan said, if you use those things and you are able to leverage those things, I posted and I whatever, but the best way I've found to build a business is much like every other business. It's the customer's always right and make sure the client's happy. Even if like I've finished videos, complete video, the artist wasn't happy, I'm not gonna be what the fuck? Like you're
Yeah.
wrong. Like what?
Yeah.
No. I've refunded people with finished videos, half price, full price, whatever. I've re-edited videos. I've watched you reshoot the same video for no extra charge 3, 4 times. And it's like we'll sit in the office and yeah, we're complaining. But like as far as the yeah, you're allowed to fucking I gotta go like you're a landscaper and this person didn't like how you cut the grass. I gotta go fucking cut this guy's grass. Like fuck this guy. Like yeah, you can say it to yourself, but as far as the business goes, it's like if you want to have a sustainable business, it's the client, the customer is always right, and you make sure the client's happy at the end of the day. We're like, if I go home tired because I had to work 3 extra hours, or I'm a little low on money because I had to refund somebody, but I know the client's happy. It's like I'm playing the long game. So I like from doing this over the years, now I'm comfortable enough now doing and generating money from doing this stuff. It's yeah, man. I like that's one thing I see a lot of people that they create enemies because of emotions or whatever, and it's like no matter what, I'll like right, wrong, whatever. Like I
Yeah.
do my best to make sure the client is happy. Whether like if I fuck up, and there are clients who aren't happy with the work I've done, whether things came up at a certain time and the videos were late or this, but I've always tried to take the steps, whether it is refunding them or doing whatever, to just because at the end of the day, that's if you want to know the secret to building any business or anything, it's have happy clients. That's the secret to having any business is to have happy clients. Like that's the
I think one of the biggest things is like building trust. You want to like make the customer feel, like they can trust you, they can come to you.
yeah.
And then that's one of the biggest things really that I've seen like working with people.
Mhm.
It's like they won't go to the best person they know, they will go to the one that they trust the most.
They
Yeah.
trust and they know
And
yeah,
yeah.
that's a great point, yeah, because 'cause I've definitely I think we said it on the first episode that,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like, it like, the people are way more likely to go to the person, like they'll go to somebody who is like, arguably, like, not as good in whatever the thing is, if they know they're
Yeah.
easy to work with, if they know they can trust them, they know that like, building that reputation is infinitely more valuable than, I think, anything else, even the quality of the work. Because
Mhm.
like we said, like,
Definitely.
people will, like, because you work with one person who's the best, but it was a headache to do it, and it, like, whatever, chances are you're not gonna go back to that person because it's like nobody wants a headache. Nobody willingly wants to choose a headache.
Yeah.
If there is an easier, not an easier, but a less stressful way, chances are the client's gonna go with that, like that's just what it is, and that's again why you'll see a lot of like a lot of artists will blow up and they'll keep using their videographer and aside like or their photographer there, and you're like, I mean, they're not the like that person's not the like the work's not the best, but like why do they stick with them? Like they're big now. Why do they stick with them? Because
Mhm.
chances are it's probably real easy for them to work. And I mean that's like consistently why I work with the people I work consistently and building off that, if you build kind of combine the two things, if you build a trust with the client, they're a lot more likely to recommend you to one of their friends because they know they can trust you. They know you're easy to work with, and that snowballs into more people. The more and more people you build that relationship with, eventually in whatever circle it is, whether it is the wedding videography and it's in the circle of brides, it's like your name gets around that like there's only positivity working with you. So chances are when people think I need this service done, you're the name that pops up that oh like they're really they'll get you what you want. It's easy to do. Like the ease of use and the client being right, that's like those are the secrets. And that goes similar, I think, with artists in the sense of like the fan is always right. It's not it's not the fans' fault that they're not listening to your music. It's not the fans' fault that your tickets didn't sell. It's not the fans' fault of anything. It's your job to sell it. It's not the artist's fault that they're not choosing me to do their music video. It's my job to do whatever it is to convince that person. And whether that is like for me, it's just building making clients happy and focusing on the quality of the work. Those two things back to back. Clients are happy and you make really good work. It's undeniable because what like even if you have somebody who might be a little better than me, if you the work is good, it's good. Like at a certain level, it's like good, and you're really good to work with. You just both ends. That thing that works for anything, like we said, a tattoo shop. If they know going there is really easy, it's a nice shop, and the people are really nice and cool, and the tattoo is really nice. Why are you gonna go shop around for other tattoo artists? You found something that works, and I think that goes with like everything, with the video stuff, the photo stuff, the art, like everything in general. It's really building the client, like making the clients and the fans like the cliche of like the customer is always right. Like there's a reason that's the cliche in every freaking business because it's like when I worked at Kmart, it was the customer's always right, even if they're clearly wrong, the
Yeah.
customer's right. Because like if you don't have the customer, you don't have a business, and it's like regardless of what the customer come in and say, "Sky's red," and oh, my bad, you
There
can
you
come in
go.
and say the sky. The customer can walk in and say the sky is red, and it's like, well, yeah, man,
Yeah.
it's that.
Looks
It's
a little red
random.
today.
That's crazy, man. I can't believe it looks like that because it's like
Oh
like
man.
without the clients, without the fans, like Logan said, like you don't have anything. So it's and if you don't want to pursue all that, if that sounds too much, like I said, you can. There's nothing wrong with just doing art to do art. I feel like social media made you feel like, well, I want to paint. I got to post all my paintings, and I feel like I preach it. If you do something, why not post content? But if you thought about it and you don't want to do it, there's nothing wrong with just doing it. And like from an art perspective, like even without social media and out like like the industry, quote unquote, even when before videos were like a thing to me and I went to school for painting, like art is done when you submit it, when you put it to the show or you have the peer review or you art like art can you can just sit and I could still be doing the painting I started when I was 16 in my high school art class. I could still be painting that same painting. That's just not right. It's not like art's not done. So it's just like if you don't want to chase the virality and chase the content and chase, you don't have to, and just take that pressure off yourself. But at the very least, release it. Like set a deadline just even just for yourself so you can grow because you'll grow infinitely more by doing 100 projects than doing one project that whole time it would have taken you to do the 100 projects. By doing one and setting a timer, setting a point where it's like this is done. It's done. It's finished. Like that's why deadlines are very important with art because it's like you'll learn more and you look at it and you go, damn, like that one part is bad. I could have did that better, and boom, you just learned something, and now the next thing, you have more knowledge to go off of it.
Going back to the point on making clients happy, and I can build off of your point of learning with that. You'll think this story is funny. Jose knows this story, but I had the issue where this was also just like kind of a nightmare client situation, but I did a cheap music video. This is probably a couple months before we started working together that I went and shot, drove extremely far. I should have never even done this. This is the learning. This is the learning part of it. I should have never even put myself in this situation. I drove very far, shot it very cheap. Video was not anything that I even wanted to post, so I was already mad at that. And then I have this guy texting me, like I'm not even exaggerating, every single day. Like, change that, need that, want this, want that. He's barely paying me. I just drove 3 hours to go shoot it. So then I'm just bubbling up. I'm like,
Yeah.
and it comes to a point, I'm like, look, bro, like, you barely fucking paid me. Like, stop fucking talking to me like this, blah, blah, blah. I popped
Oh
off on him.
man.
And then, like, 2 hours later, I was like, bro, I'm so sorry. because this is the learning moment of that. I went back and I reread everything that was like our whole argument. I was like, I'm in the wrong here. Like,
Yeah.
I offered my service to him. I came down to him. He's just asking me for shit that I already basically provided to him.
Yeah.
I'm the asshole right now. Come 2 years later, I'm at a video shoot, and I'll tell you who the artist is. I'm gonna keep this very vague, as he's never gonna see this.
Yeah,
But
but yeah.
I'm at a video shoot with Jose, and the artist is like, "Yo, I'm pulling up, but I'm calling Uber for my boy. He's pulling up in like 45 minutes." I'm like, "Word." And 45 minutes later, guess who walks in?
The
The
artist.
guy that I cursed out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're like, yo, because thankfully I apologize. And that's really
Yeah.
the biggest point of the story is
Yeah.
like learning and understanding where you are at a certain point. Because my work was terrible back then. Like I shouldn't even, my work was worth $150, which was the price that I charged him. But looking back on it and really seeing it, like I forget what the greater point was, but even he saw me working in that situation after that and was like, oh, I want to work with him. And that's really because we were talking about how you do good work for somebody and then they bring their friend and they see you do work and they're like, oh crap. He, even as somebody that I had an altercation with 2 years down the line, saw me working with his friend and was like, oh shit, I want to work with this guy.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important to make sure you're always satisfying the client, always understanding your situation, and apologize too if you know you're in the wrong.
I mean, yeah, I think ego is a huge thing that people have to. In my experience of building a business, you have to let the ego
Oh yeah,
out,
you gotta
out
put
the
it to
door.
the side.
Yeah.
You gotta
Definitely.
just suck your teeth
Yeah.
up, even when, like we said, like you could be 1,000,000% in the right. The artist could be saying the sky is red, and it's like that you have to make the decision. And I've learned it many times of like there's no point for me to go off on a client now, regardless
Yeah,
of
no.
at the very worst, I will find a way to like politely. I'm gonna refund you everything. I'll send you it at its current state. I'm gonna refund you the full thing. I politely, I don't need to deal with this. And I've done that many times now with people because it's like there's no benefit of besides that moment of like, oh, and just like cursing that person out like fuck you did and this like
Yeah.
the only benefit you get is that little moment and it doesn't last. Like you said,
No.
I guarantee in 2 hours you're gonna be sitting there like, damn, like maybe I shouldn't have done that. Like
Yeah.
maybe it was a little. There's no benefit, even if, like I said, you could be fully in the right. There's no upside to cursing your client out when you're trying to build a business. Like it's just there.
Just period. Like
Yeah,
there's no excuse for it
isn't. Like
either.
if you're unhappy, either suck it up and accept that you starting a business. That's what it is. Like that's what it is. Or like I said, find a way to refund or politely pull out of it, or find a way to politely.
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
I can't even say it.
Politely-
I don't even know what you're trying
It's
to
like
say.
Ambically. I think,
yeah, it's something like that.
Ambically. Something like that.
Put the
I
word
can't
like
speak.
right here correctly.
Definition.
But yeah, find a way to like politely remove yourself because it's like the cliche thing, like you never know who you're talking to. Like the cliche thing of like the person in a Toyota Camry today might be the person in a Bentley tomorrow. It's like
Yeah.
you just never know. And it's like if you're building a business, the core thing is the public's perception of the business. If the public's perception of your business is terrible, you're not going to get more clients, or you have to indefinitely find new clients, and you're just constantly like you'll run out of people in your area. Then you have to go here, and then you're like
Then move.
it just doesn't. It's not sustainable. So there's no, at least from my experience, I find there's no upside to making the client happy, even if it makes you upset. Make them happy, and then just cut ties. Like there's many artists that I've worked with that like halfway through working with, I was like, yeah, I'm never working with this person again. But I finish the work, I do the revisions, I do whatever
Got
to
it
get
done.
just get the project done and make them happy, and then you can decide to never work with that client again. There's nothing wrong with that. But I guarantee you that is so much better in the long run than fuck this person because you also don't know who that person knows.
Yeah, that's a
that could
giant
have
point,
easily
yeah.
that the same way that like it ended good where it was like, oh shit, and like it could have easily ended with you not apologizing to that guy and him telling his boy, "Oh, nah, don't work with Steve,"
Yeah.
and you would have never got that second client, and you would have like now the chances of a good client bringing one of their friends, you just have a chance of that client who doesn't like you telling his one or two friends not to work with you, and you've lost two more potential clients.
Yeah.
Just because you don't like some of the artists that right now that I'm like, yeah, I don't ever want to work with these people again. I don't want to deal with the headache. I now work with some of their close friends. And it's like just because one person might not be the client you want to work with end it on good terms because you don't know who that person is connected, like who they might know, or their friend might be your future client, or you just never know. And like I think the biggest moral of the story with it is the client, the fan, they're always right. That's really what it is, and that's the best way to grow anything, whatever it is, whether it's your music or the fan is always right. If the fan's not consuming your music, it's not their fault. It's not, oh, you guys don't respect, like you guys don't know real. It's no, you got to find a way to make them do it. The same way if you're a landscaping business, it's like nobody just because somebody has grass, it doesn't mean they like you deserve to be the person to cut their grass.
Yeah.
You have to convince them why they should choose you over every other landscaping business. It's the same thing. And then you do it by building it up the same way we all did. Do cut someone's grass for free and do it like to the best of your ability. And then I guarantee that person might want to then pay you to do the same thing again. Or they might recommend, hey, he did it for free for me. I mean, it might cost a little bit, but it was really good, and recommend you out. Like, the customer is always right. And that might be the title of this episode.
The customers are. I
Yeah,
like
we
that.
started talking about balance, and now it shifted into just yeah, the customer is always right, the fan is always right, and stop chasing after the big. Treat it like it is a business. Like if you were opening a Walmart or opening a
Pizza
restaurant.
shop or something.
Yeah, if you're opening anything, if you're opening a restaurant, you're not going to be like, I got to get Drake in here to eat this meal, and that's going to change everything. Because even if Drake did eat there, who's to say that would change? Like people might stop by for the week after and check it out, but it's like, is that really like
Long
versus
term.
when somebody comes in and buys a sandwich, make a really good sandwich, make it quick, whatever it is, like just make your clients happy and snowball and kind of to bring it full circle back, build a system where you can do that indefinitely if this is what you want to do because it's gonna take the long game. It's things like clients I made happy, like working with the hoodies. I just shot a video in the studio. I think it was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I found out that that client found me through the first hoodies video I did like 2 years ago.
Probably almost 3 years ago.
And he
now.
was like, "Yeah, bro, I found you when you did that video, and I've been watching you ever since, and I just been waiting to work with you."
That's insane.
And he was watching for like 2 years, never hit me up, never contacted, and eventually 2 years later, he hit me up, and we just did, and we worked, and that came from building a good relation, like making the hoodies happy and doing really good work, and making them, and then making that client happy. And it's like I said, it's a long game. You can plant that seed now, like make the client happy today, because you don't know. In 5 years, 10 years, that same client might come around like, yo, I just hit a PPP. I got $200,000. What's up? Like, you never know. Like, you just like you're better off having everyone be happy with you and you being frustrated at home than everyone being frustrated with you and you feeling like you're the man. And when
Yeah.
at least when you're starting a business. Maybe that's not great life advice, but in the sense
No,
of
that
starting
is
a business.
that's good. Like that's good advice. Period.
I'd rather
Yeah.
just have everyone be happy around me and I'll take the L because then I know at the end of the day my business can run and we like I can at any time change something to make me happy versus if everyone doesn't like me or everyone's unhappy with me, it's gonna be a lot harder to change their opinion negatively back towards you than me to make myself happy from being stressed out from making everyone else happy. I can go home and smoke my weed and watch a movie and chill out. The clients are happy. I'm stressed, but I can go watch a movie and vibe out.
Yeah.
No, I definitely think that's yeah, man. We're at 1 hour and 13, so I think that's a pretty good place.
Yeah.
Episode 4 weeks in a row. Well, damn, we're this. I mean, that's a month straight now. This
Yeah.
marks a month straight
No
on the
way,
podcast.
a month
Yeah,
already.
because this will be
man.
4. Then 4
Oh
weeks.
You
yeah,
left
that's
for 2
right. I was
weeks,
gone.
bro.
Yeah, Jose
In my
here for
mind,
the
that was like last week.
yeah, Jose was like, "What?
Yeah,
This is the
no.
second episode."
That's
No,
crazy.
yeah, this is
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened while you were gone, buddy.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's crazy.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, I was lost.
I mean, yeah, I
was
guess
like,
we
a
could touch
month.
on that for a little bit, yeah, because you were here, like you left right as we
Literally like
launched
2
everything.
days before we filmed the first one or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah, we
that.
filmed the first
Yeah.
one, and then you left, and then we launched everything, rap rotations,
Yeah.
and you like came right back into like basically a whole new freaking
Yeah, I'm
system.
trying to
and,
like catch up right now.
yeah,
see.
no, but I definitely think yeah, and we started talking about this about how like delegating stuff out, and it's like cool to now have like start having things actually like the rap rotations, you taking that
Yeah.
over, and like start creating things just to have stuff happening, and like you can generate money and expanding out and being able to delegate and do more things now. And it's pretty cool to kind of what we've been talking about for a while actually start to be building now. Like having projects coming in and building these things up and
It's crazy how fast like it's moving too. It's
yeah, I
like-
mean, in the first, I mean, yeah, like the days I feel like feel so long because rap rotations has only been like this has only been up for a week. It's only been posting for a week.
Yeah,
That's
right. This
crazy.
Like this is the first because we're only posting
that's so
weekdays, and this is the
crazy.
first weekend, so it's only been posting for 5 days, and it's like, damn, that's kind of crazy. And it's already like yeah, like a full like we were building a full system now where that's like the main thing that you're editing right now
Yeah.
to bring in money on the day to day, and yeah, no, it's pretty interesting. But that kind of like we were saying, I think you're saying in the first episode, like just spending time to build systems so that when it does officially launch, it feels like it's moving so quickly or like it's growing so quick. But like we planned like like put these things over. It wasn't like we just decided one day, yo, let's start shooting rap rotations. Like
Yeah.
let's call some
Yeah.
artists in here. We planned that like a system and all right, I'm gonna edit these, and then I built the template. I was like, all right, Jose, I'll edit these. We'll shoot them, and then we build systems so that when we launch, it can just move, and then things start moving quick, and
It
it kind
doesn't
of
feel
goes.
like too much either, especially when we had 30 people or however
Yeah,
many people we had coming in and out of the
I
studio
mean, yeah,
that
and
day.
it kind
Yeah,
of goes
nah.
like the point we were saying how like overnight success, like it starts to move quickly, and it seems like damn, we just started this, and look how quickly like the flea one, the flea clip did like 50K, like real quick, and I mean we just started posting the page a week, like for a week, um,
The ones today got like I think they're close to like 8K or
That's
yeah, I think
something,
it's just under 10. I think the one's just under 10
which is crazy
on
too.
the first
Yeah,
day.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
But and like that's like the we were saying about overnight success that it's like it looks to the outside it might look like a quote unquote overnight success like obviously on a smaller scale but it's people don't see the 2 months 3 months we planned it talked about how are we going to do it who's going to do what are we going to do and you set up a system and then to the public eye it looks like oh overnight success and then somebody might say well then I just got to start up a platform and then a week in they get discouraged and it's like
Nice
you
little
just
12K.
deny. Oh yeah, they
12K.
want that
There you
12.
go. It
Yeah,
pumped up more.
and it's like that's I think that's a good thing to kind of round it out. Like the conversation today about is like yeah, it's like it looks like it's popping off so quick, but that platform is 8 years of Logan doing business, 6 years of me doing business,
4
4 years
years.
of you doing business. And it's the combination, and then the 3 months of all of us sitting talking about route rotation. This is how we're gonna do it, and then in the field, and how we're gonna do it, and all right, we're gonna do a day of shooting, and we're gonna have artists and planning it out, like, and then so when it does drop, to everyone who hasn't seen that, it looks like, oh shit, that was like an overnight success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a great example, even like on a small scale, of like these artists that people look up to. That it's like I don't know who this was yesterday, but now they're freaking has a Drake feature. Like, wow, why not me? It's like
Yeah.
you don't know that this guy wasn't posting TikToks for the last 6 years. You don't know that this guy was
Staying up
doing
to like 4 in the morning
yeah,
making
like
music or
on
whatever.
blogs, posting a
Yeah.
song and messaging every person you can find on Facebook. You don't know that. You only know once the thing finally clicks, and then you see it. You're like, damn, what? Well, that needs to happen to me. And now you're just looking for the one thing that's gonna do that, disregarding the all the things you have to do that nobody is gonna see for this to work. It's almost like you're at the bottom of the ocean and you have to do all these things and build up all this sand so then you can finally peek out of the water and someone's like, wow, look at that tiny little thing sticking out of the water. But it's like you deny the freaking massive like thing
Yeah.
going up. Like I don't know if you ever saw the meme of freaking
Godzilla?
God,
Yeah,
yo, of Godzilla, how Godzilla would stand in the ocean like he's
Oh,
on
yeah.
He
something.
has like
Yeah,
long
You see
yeah.
ass
what-
legs.
that's what it
Yeah.
is. People are like, oh my God, I want to be God. Look at him, Godzilla. But you're not like acknowledging the mountain underneath him that he had to build up. And no one can see under the ocean. So no one sees all that stuff that had to be built up prior to getting that. I mean, that's how freaking islands are built. That's how Hawaii was built. A volcano started erupting under the ocean. No, you don't see it. You don't see it. You don't see it until one day it's high enough where now it reaches the surface. That's the thing with the career. It's like you got to do all this stuff under the water where no one's ever going to see this, and you're probably never going to actually get the credit for. And people could easily be like salty about that, but like if you're salty about that, like clearly this isn't for you because that's just what it is. It's like if you're dying for that recognition for all the stuff under the ocean you had to do, that's just like I don't know. To me, like that's kind of weird. It's like
I feel like you get that after though. Like you're not.
you get
If your
there.
Yeah.
ultimate goal is to be,
If you don't give
I
up.
was about to
If you don't
literally
give
go
up.
off the clip that I literally said already. If your ultimate goal is to be successful in anything, like that will come with being that person. Like people will
Yeah.
want to listen to that story either way.
And not even that, just actually being that person. They don't need to. Maybe they'll never know all the work you had to do, but the getting to be that person from doing all that work is that almost is the recognition for all that work because everyone else who didn't do that work isn't at the position you're now at. Like, you might not get the actual recognition as like, "Damn, bro, you worked every night till 6 AM for the last 6 years, good shit." Like, you might never get that, but now you're at a place where everyone else is still trying to get to, and being in that position is your, like, good job for all that work, because everyone not putting in that work will never have that same level or that same and they might appear to be they might get one viral hit and now appear to be at the same level at you, but I guarantee without that solid foundation you build from all that work, like you'll have a much more like you'll feel more secure because the person who might get one viral hit and just be nobody and then somebody tomorrow, I guarantee you it comes with a lot of insecurity of like, how do I maintain this? Versus if you built a fan a day and now you have a million fans, you're not going, how do I maintain this? Because you've built them up one by one the whole way. And it's like you're building this foundation of a house versus just like opening a tent real quick and like now I got a house, or spending the time to lay the brick and build. Now you got a house. It's like the freaking, like the what is it, the wolf and the pigs, or like the fucking three little pigs, and
Yeah.
like building the house. Like spend the time, build the house. Like it's slower, and you're not gonna get the people are gonna look at you and be like, this guy's still playing with bricks and like he's all dirty, but it's like
I forgot about that story. Oh my
no,
god, you're like
bro.
bringing me back to my
Bro.
childhood right now.
No, yeah, but it's true because it's like you might get laughed at, and he might look at you like this dude's all dirty, still building bricks. Like I'm in this straw house. I have a house. Look how quickly I did it. But as soon as the wind blows around, the straw house is gonna go, and the person who spent the time to lay the bricks, it's gonna stay.
Yeah, you've really like worked through all the problems and everything, and I feel like that's why we see so many artists that like just pop off and then they just like disappear
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't spend those maybe they did or I don't know,
Yeah,
but
most of them
but
probably
most of
didn't.
them like didn't get those years where the foundation was, so they weren't ready when their moment was here.
Mm,
They weren't ready
Yeah.
to keep
that's
taking action and
that
keep
that's a
going.
really good point. Yeah, because I think you definitely learn from the year, like from my 6 years of doing, or like let's say 5 years of doing this before I saw any little bit of success. I learned trial and error. Like I learned how to like I'm comfortable in any situation where my camera could die, I don't have an SD card, camera,
Yeah,
anything
Yeah.
happens, I'm
Yeah.
comfortable to fix it. Versus somebody who did one thing and then it blew up and now they're at this great position, but they've never had to deal with any bit
yeah,
of yeah,
imperfections. Like everything has to be
there was
perfect
no
Yeah.
problem
initially.
solving
Yeah,
on the way. Like I've had 5 years of figuring it out.
yeah,
And now it's
yeah.
like like not even like confident in a cocky way. I'm just confident like on a set. Anything can go wrong on set and I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Versus somebody who just started and you might have got your big break off your first video and now you're shooting a $10,000 budget video where everything has to go right, and as soon as one thing goes wrong, you don't know how to deal with
Fix
Fix
it.
it.
it. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I think yeah, that's a really good point that you made about like there's something to be said about that, about like the 6 years or 5 years or 10 years of doing it, that like
Yeah.
you're able to then sustain, because when one thing goes wrong, if you
You're ready for it.
yeah
You already been through it, just
yeah
at a
it's like
way
Yeah.
smaller scale.
yeah, it's
So
just
it's like the
another
same
thing. It's
thing.
like yeah, it's like
Yeah.
there's
It's actually almost easier when you get to that point because
oh
you
yeah.
have the money, you have the knowledge, you know
The
everything. And
network,
back when
like
you're
if
back
something
there, you're like,
goes,
oh
yeah,
my
Yeah, it's like
god.
I figured this out when I had nothing.
yeah.
Now I have some money and some
Now you have
resources.
Now it's
money,
Yeah,
easy. It's
people,
easy now.
yeah.
connections,
So like,
everything.
there definitely is something to be said, and like we were kind of saying, it's like the people who are willing to put that work in and just like love it and just chase it every day and like wake up, and it's like you don't see them discouraged by like, well, I'm here again doing it. It's like the people who just wake up and are excited to do it, and like, of course, you're gonna have your days where it's like, yeah, I mean, we joke about all the time in the studio. It's like, yep, still working on this video, but it's like at least from my view, all three of us, it's like we at the end of the day, we're gonna come out and like we wake up and we're gonna do this because we want to do that. I mean, look at you, you just went away and filmed a bunch of stuff. It's not like somebody paid you for all
Yeah,
these things from that
no.
trip. You just wanted to film it and want to edit and want to post, and it's like, yeah, bro, like I definitely,
I think when you get to that point, I mean it's the biggest difference maker whether you get to that point and you keep that tenacity that you had when you were below. Is if you lose it, it's gonna go down from there, in my opinion. And you see that with artists a lot when they get that first check, they lose. My favorite example is Roddy Rich, because Roddy Rich's first two albums are fantastic. Like great. You can hear and see the grind, what he was really going
They're
through then.
hungry.
He's
Yeah.
so hungry. You can
Hungry.
hear it in
Yeah.
his lyrics. And then you listen to his album after he gets his big deal, after the box popped, it's like a whole different Roddy Rich because he's not the same person. He has
Yeah.
that luxury. He has that. He doesn't have to worry about probably sleeping in somebody's bedroom or sleeping on the floor of somebody's bedroom. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's a big thing that happens when you actually get to that point. And I'm sure that'll never happen with us, but
I mean,
it
yeah,
does
but
happen.
yeah, I
It
mean,
could
it's
happen to
definitely.
anyone, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I
it
mean, yeah,
can.
it
Yeah.
can. I mean,
But
and to a certain level, like yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's what comes down to. If it wasn't for the internet, there'd be a lot less artists. I think
Yeah.
like there'd be a lot less people, or a lot less anything, a lot less videographers, a
yeah.
lot less photographers. It's like just because of social media,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people chasing these things that like they wouldn't have chased if it wasn't for social media. I started making YouTube videos when that shit was cringy. Like I went into high school. I started making YouTube videos of myself in my bedroom in middle school. I went into high school being that kid who just makes YouTube videos for nobody. Wasn't It'd be one thing if I had a following, but I was making YouTube videos with 0 views every week, nonstop. And it's like I was doing it when there was no when there was no oh, I'm gonna do this because this is gonna change my life. It
You're
was
gonna
like
be a
I
YouTuber.
just want to
You
do
just
this. Like
wanted to do
I just
it.
want to
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And I think if you could, I think how we said in the last episode, um, if I'm very curious, if you could hand somebody something saying, like if you could go up to an artist and be like, give them a guarantee, this is never gonna work out. Like you'll never become Drake or you'll never become a superstar. How many of the people would continue to do their thing? Because I get how that's discouraging, but I can say for myself, like right now, if this stopped working and I had to go get a job or somewhere else or do something else, I know whenever I had free time, I'd probably still be making a video. It might not be a music video, it might be a vlog or like I'd go hike somewhere or like do something, but I know I would still be making videos or making something or because I was doing it way before it was a career. I was doing this like right when like YouTubers started to become like a career is when I like got interested in it. And it like at the time it was like I'm just making video. I'm a 14-year-old kid making videos in my bedroom just for nothing because I want to. And it's I would be very interested to. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people doing a lot of things just because of social media or because they, whatever. I don't know.
It is an interesting thing to think about why people are so inclined to be viral, even if they didn't. Like, what
I
is that like
yeah,
urge?
it's like
They're
yeah, I
just
don't know.
chasing like the fame, I feel
Yeah,
like.
I
They
think it's like
just
the human nature to like be like
Somebody or something.
wanted or like
yeah.
yeah, like a validation they didn't get. I mean, a lot of it like in my opinion, the real like artists, not just artists like who like singing art, like just artists in general who do art, painting, whatever. Artists are like and to my knowledge, most real good artists are they have a problem somewhere mentally, whether it was mental disorder or they didn't get they had a bad childhood or they didn't get enough
Yeah.
attention or there's usually something because in my opinion art is an expression of something. It's you weren't able to say this thing or aren't able to articulate something or somehow so you found a way to do it through whatever medium, whether it is singing, painting, drawing, whatever your art is. It's an expression thing. So I'm kind of losing my point with it. um yeah.
Why people want to be viral.
Oh yeah. um yeah, like I think it's a human nature thing, and most artists are like, even if you look back, like I went to high school for like fine arts. It wasn't like I went to college for videos, but when I was in like high school, I went for fine arts, and all these big painters, like these famous Picasso and Da Vinci, these were like really like messed up people mentally. Like a lot of them had like mental disorders, or they were like freaking what was it? Da Vinci cut his ear off and
Yeah.
mailed it to his freaking
No way.
No,
Ye
it's
Really?
Van Gogh.
Van
Van
Gogh
Gogh.
cut his ear
Yeah.
off and mailed it to I think his ex-wife or his current wife. Like,
What?
Yeah.
I
You
did not
know
know
that?
that.
yeah, no,
Nah.
that's what, like these like art in general is like it's messed up people. So there is a level of like these people who are filling a void. So maybe that leads to why like, and then it only got exacerbated. It got
Exacerbated.
exacerbated by like social media being like even more so. I just need the attention. I need this. It's like
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you hear like I hear a lot where it's like a lot of artists like it was just a seek for attention. They were like the weird kid, or they didn't get attention at home, or they were neglected at home, so they just like the urge for attention, so they went into music or went into building like trying to get fans because they just wanted the attention or like the validation that they didn't get somewhere else.
I've never even thought about it like that. You're making me rethink my whole life right now.
No, yeah, I mean, I think about it a lot. A lot of people are like, a lot of people do this to just get a validation that they feel they don't get in their life, and it might stem from an insecurity just about them as a person. It might be a deeper insecurity just about like they're not confident in who they are as a person, so they convince themselves that I need to be this artist so then I can get that, then I can almost so I can get the validation from other people, so then that I can use that to validate myself to me. If all these people think I'm lit, I must be lit. But kind of
Mm,
like Logan was saying about the relationships, that's only going to be an endless toxic cycle. It needs to start with you being like to yourself confident and go to therapy and do these things that internally you have that validation from yourself. I don't need anybody to tell me my videos or my art is cool. I'm going to make it. I was making it when nobody was telling me anything. I was making it in high school when people thought that shit was weird. It's a lot of people are searching for validation and it goes deep because it might be really from just your childhood where you were the younger child or you were the older child and then you had a younger sibling and they got all the attention and you got no attention from your parents and that turned into now trying to get attention from the world because you didn't get the attention from your perceived world when you were a kid. It's
crazy.
definitely yeah,
Very interesting.
I think it goes deep. I think a lot of there's a lot of psychology behind like why if you really take time and like each individual artist and you kind of pick up like I picked up a lot in it just trying to make these art make clients and artists happy. You learn a lot about them because you're just like you're succumbing to them and getting inside of their head because you're making them happy.
Yeah.
And you notice a lot of them like a lot of the artists I work with are doing it out of validation because they didn't get it. They had a broken home, they lost a parent, whatever it was like they're looking for validation they didn't get elsewhere, and a lot of times they're looking for validation they don't have in themselves. They're not a confident person. They think something about themselves, so they dive into this persona or chase this virality because in their brain, if they can be viral, that must mean there's something they're worthy of something, or
Yeah.
there's that gives a worth to them. Oh, I have a million views on this. Like that now there's a worth to you when you're gonna that will always just lead you to be sad when you really got to spend the time to yourself to find that in yourself to be happy because you're only that's no level of success will fill that if it is truly coming from a place of filling this void for um
Attention or
like
like
yeah like
something.
to validate it for yourself like no attention from a crowd is going to do that. You can be Drake, you can sell out every stadium if you don't have the value of yourself in yourself and you're trying to get that from this fan base.
Yeah, I feel like that is dependent on what you want to do too. Like if you want to sell out stadiums, then make that your thing. But if you
Yeah.
want to, we've said this probably a couple times on the podcast now. Like if you want to be an artist, you're not gonna. This industry isn't for artists. It's for people who want to be really lit and put themselves out there. It's not for the person who makes the best art.
Definitely not.
No,
I
it's
just
not at
like
all.
I feel like especially now it just moved towards if let's say like a label or something can make money off you, it's like that's where they're gonna go to because
Yeah, they're not
you
gonna
see
go. Yeah,
mad talented people out there,
yeah.
but they're like singing down the street, or like
I
at
mean
the
yeah like
boardwalk.
Logan said in the first episode you
Yeah,
could find a talented person singing right now
In the subway.
yeah.
Yeah.
in the subway if you yeah you'll find them on the street somewhere it's yeah.
It all
Even in that Las
depends.
Vegas video we were just watching, the guy playing the guitar was great. He was
Yeah,
killing it.
phenomenal and he's
Yeah.
living underneath Vegas.
Yeah,
On Mad.
literally, yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just the biggest thing now. It's like if they can make money off you, then
Yeah,
It's
that's like
marketability. It's
yeah, pretty
everything.
much, yeah.
and
Yeah.
that kind of like we've been saying, it's kind of just accepting to yourself and figuring out inside yourself, is that what you want? Do you want to be a part of like the race? Like some people have love it and they want to chase after it, and that's like a choice. But there's also nothing wrong with choosing that I don't want to chase after this thing and do whatever. And it's just there's nothing wrong with either decision. What's wrong is lying to yourself or not figuring that out before going into it, I think, because then you just lead yourself down a place of being upset or being depressed or being whatever. And you gotta you just gotta really be brutally honest with yourself and what you want out of it. Do you want to make the music you want to make? Do you have a message you want to get out? Are you just looking for validation? Are you looking, and like not in a negative way, like you might realize like I am looking for validation, and that might open your eyes and take pressure off you that you can reevaluate and go about your career a different way. Now you know, oh, this whole time I've just been looking for validation. This isn't what I actually like enjoy. And now you can pivot, and you'd be surprised as soon as you start doing things you actually believe in and enjoy. You might be surprised to see you're gonna see more out of that. It might not be viral, but you might now know, oh shit, I just gained a fan today. I gained a fan, like another fan, and I don't know. Well, that was episode 4, Can't Talk and Creating. Appreciate you
There
tuning in.
go.
If you made it this far, comment the word balance. If you made it this far, that's this week's word.
Should we throw in a discount? Like, if you watch this far and DM me, I'll give you a 50% discount on a music video. Might as well, just to see who actually watches at Steve Gronke. If you DM
We should
me,
make like a discount code for the shirts. So,
Ooh,
yeah, that could be
watches
cool.
at the
Hey, I
Yeah.
mean, hey, if you go on the website right now to the shop and you enter your phone number and email, you can get 20% off.
There you go.
But yeah, if you DM the Wave Change page, the first 3 people who made it this far and DM the Wave Change page, the word balance, go to the Instagram at Wave Change, DM the word balance, we'll give you 50% off one of the services, music video content pack. First 3 people.
That's
so
crazy. Don't miss out. Whoever
now you
watching.
know to listen
Yeah.
this far. And for the people who do listen this far, we're not going to do it at the end of the episode every time, because now you're just going to start skipping to the end.
Yeah.
Of the episode. We're going to start mixing them in, so you got to
We'll
listen
add
to
it
the
like
whole thing.
somewhere in
Yeah,
there.
just
Yeah,
somewhere
it's like in the
random in the
middle.
episode. It's gonna just, this is the code this week, so you
Make
can't
sure to
just skip
watch
to the
it.
end.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, go buy the shirts. The link's down below. If you listened on audio on Apple, Spotify, appreciate you. You can check out the video on Spotify or YouTube. We didn't fully we just randomly talked about this in the second episode, and then the third episode we didn't talk about it. We just named him, and I realized I was editing the second episode, and I realized if someone listens to this, they're gonna be mad confused
Yeah.
because we don't at all explain we're talking about a mannequin, and we're just saying we're just naming this. It sounds like we're just
Yeah.
naming a person that isn't talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is Waffels.
Waffles.
The name still holds. So
Waffles.
Somehow we'll figure it out.
come back every Monday. The audio drops at 6 a.m. every Monday. The video follows up. Some days I be running late and the video drops. The video always drops on Monday, but audio drops 6 a.m. Hopefully the video drops 6 a.m. But every Monday, check us out. Go to Wave Change on Instagram. Check out what we're doing. Wave Change on YouTube. The vlogs should have officially started posting as of right now. So there's probably a vlog. The first vlog probably is linked down below. Go check it out. Love you. Peace.